Hey, good morning, fellas. Happy Sunday. I believe it's March 3rd. I'll show you they got the sun coming up right there behind the trees. There are the Franklin Mountains. The lawn is already coming in. I've kind of abandoned the pool for the rest of the day. And to get to the point, this video is about money and it's directed especially at younger men. So I'm going to take you inside, sit you down, and just talk to you. And I hope whenever I do videos like this that you believe me when I say I'm talking to you. I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm just offering you some unsolicited advice. So let me sit down here on the couch. Oh, bah. Set you down and talk to you. All right, two of the bigger things that you have to come to grips with as a younger man is money and time, and how you value both of those. You have to figure out financial. I mean, sit down with a piece of paper and actually go through every single one of your bills to find out how much money you spend. Either a long time ago I did a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually, 3-year, 5-year thing. I did that to build my plan on when I wanted to retire. Now, this is also part of investing in yourself and your future. If you don't know how much money you spend every month, or you have to spend, there are some things that you have to have. You have to have a place to lay your head. Even if you're a trucker and you're sleeping in your cab, that's still a place where you might have a loan on it. Something that it costs a payment every month. Electricity, fuel, food, all those intangible costs that you really don't think about, and you need to know what they are. And you should add, I would say nowadays, I would say you would have to add between 7 and 10% to that number for inflation for the next few years. All right? Once you've established that number, that's the bare minimum you can get by if you want to live month to month. Okay? On top of that, I want you to consider adding 10 at first percent to that whole overall number for you to get to where you're in a comfortable spot. Eventually, I want you to move that number to 20% so that will also knock out your reason to worry about inflation. Once that's done, 5 to 10% to start you off. It could be 3% of that. It needs to go into your oh shit fund, and then on top of that it needs to go into the money you're going to keep, which should be 10% eventually, not when you're starting off, but eventually 10% of everything you make is yours to keep. The other 10% that you factored in with the 20% is for you to make up for inflation. So now you have a good solid foundation. Let's say you're no longer an apprentice mechanic, you're no longer an apprentice carpenter, you're no apprentice driver. You're no longer an apprentice electrician. You're no longer an apprentice nurse. You're no longer an apprentice Leo, a law enforcement officer at any level. But you have a career and not a job. At this point in time in your life, even if you want to start an entrepreneurial event or a business, or you want to start off something where you're your own boss, because there are a lot of guys out there who just don't like working for somebody else, and that makes a lot of sense. They're just innately, they have a lot of leadership, and there are a lot of guys who have a lot of leadership who are innately helping themselves by working within the system. But there's a bunch of guys. I'm not trying to exclude anybody out of this group. All right. So back to the point at hand. We have already now, we're no longer a rookie. We're no longer an apprentice. We're now into journeyman part of our careers. Our careers, not our jobs. You then have to decide, what is my time worth? When you're just getting started, you got to fight your way out of the I'll say gutter, out of the gutter. Get yourself to where you're standing up and you know what's going on. You're making ends meet, but you're not exceeding them. The next part of your life is you have to figure out what your time is worth. That is a very important thing. And if you do not think people will take advantage of that, you're wrong. When you're younger, older men and women will take advantage of the fact that you don't know what you're worth. They're going to ask you to do a job they don't want to do, and they're going to try to pay you the minimum. So you have to figure out, when you ask for either $1 an hour or a contract, you have to figure out how much your time is worth. Now, if you consider that we already have our base number to just get by, and we've added 20% to that, you can go from there. Add another 3, add another 5, add another 10, add another 15, add another 20%. And here's the hard part. So many of you young men are humble, are honest to a fault, and that means to where it's to your detriment. I would rather see you ask for something that you consider or somebody else may consider an outrageous number. Start high. Don't start low. We start high and we work our way to the middle with the person. There are people that are going to tell you, hey, it pays, what's it here? The average rate here in Texas is $7.25. And no, that's not a fucking living wage. And there are people out there washing dishes, waiting tables, working bars that are hoping for tips to make up the difference. And some of those guys make $3.50. I don't want to get on. I'm getting off track. You have to highly, highly value your time, energy, and effort. If you get sick or hurt, do you think that company's going to come there? Oh my God, what can we do to help you? No, they're going to just flick you to the side and move on to the next person. All right? It is far easier for any company to realize that they have a good, hard-working man that's honest, going to show up on time, not going to cause trouble. You know what's required to be successful, and you make that happen. It is far easier for that company to pay you and keep you than for them to go out and search for somebody to replace you. All right? Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can, and you have to take care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself, you have to know how much money you're spending to just get by, to survive, and then how much money you need to put that 10% away every month, because we always pay ourselves first. We pay ourselves off the top, and then after that an additional 10% for us to get into the comfortable zone. All right? Love you guys. Just trying to help. Like a fart in a G-string. West Texas, El Paso. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.